Start it? Okay. Most writers are conditioned, we as writers are conditioned from a very early age not to spend any money or to invest in ourselves as writers. We think of ourselves as something separate from the world of the market, whatever markets that may exist that we sell our work in, when in fact we are just as much a part of it as any other company in the world. And there seems to be a stigma against most writers who self-publish, when in fact some of the greatest writers in history, from Edgar Allan Poe to Shakespeare, were self-published authors, or at least they started that way. And but many people don't think about that. Most writers just don't think of their work as a product more than they do narcissistically their babies, that it's their masterpiece, their work of art, and in a way it is. But if they have any sort of inkling, any sort of notion, any sort of intention to actually make money with their work, or to get other people, even if it's not even making money, it could be just to get other people, and even if you put it on your website for free, completely free, people will just not be interested in reading what a writer has to say unless they're able to get people unless they're able to convince people that their work is worth reading to begin with. So really, regardless of a writer thinks that they should or should not invest in themselves to make money, whether or not making money is even their goal is irrelevant. Any writer who wishes to be read should also understand that they are not just writing for themselves, they're writing for other people. And that's exactly what marketing is. Marketing is generating awareness and demand for a product, any given product. So what any writer, regardless of what their actual goals are, if they want to, and many writers say, oh, it's not about making money, it's about telling your story. Well, okay, tell your story, but nobody's going to care to read it unless you market yourself and you convince people, unless you raise awareness and demand for others to read your work. The reason why so many writers fail at this is because they develop this sort of moral self-righteousness and thinking, well, no, if nobody buys my work, then I'm just not. If nobody buys or just is even interested in reading it, then I'm gonna be. It's all right. It's fine. I know I'm gonna explode and be the next Tolkien after I die. Right? When in actuality, that's very rare, and it's a myth. It only happens. It's a unicorn way of thinking, because if you take that same mentality, strip the ego away from it, and you apply it to every other writer in the world who says the same thing about themselves, you'll realize that less than 1% actually reach that goal after they die. So because they hear about so many different stories about so many of the greats that didn't get famous until after they died or whatnot, they sort of connect to that instead of taking a more practical route and realizing that no, they're probably not going to be the next Tolkien. They're probably not going to be the next Edgar Allan Poe. They're likely not telling anything in their story that hasn't already been told before in a different way. And as long they develop a sort of egomaniacal sense of entitlement that prevents them from taking the risk of actually learning how to market their work, convincing other people to be interested in their work, regardless of whether or not they want to make money or not. Where so many writers fail is in two reasons. Either one, they take the quick way, they look up internet marketing, at least in this day and age, they look up internet marketing and they realize how much there is to learn, all the different jargonistic terms, and they realize how much time and patience and diligence and money it's going to take to learn to master that craft for themselves, to become a true marketing guru. And they're just unwilling to dedicate that much time to it, because it takes just as much knowledge to sell a product as it does to create a good one. But a lot of writers, they just focus on creating their product, and they don't actually focus on what it takes to get people interested in it. And often those go hand in hand. So there's that, and then the writers that aren't so egomaniacal, aren't so narcissistic, and they actually do invest within themselves, they often quit the moment they make their first big financial mistake, because they might put in $1,000, $2,000 in a PPC campaign, but if they make one mistake, because they may be newbies to it, if they make one mistake, they can end up losing that $1,000, $2,000. And most writers in the world are not rich, and that's a lot of money to lose. But instead of taking that financial hit, and every great marketer has made a financial mistake of that kind. You know, during the process of the trade, it's a natural process of human error. Everybody makes mistakes. They usually quit instead of saying, okay, yes, I lost a couple $1,000s in this gamble that I did, and with marketing, instead of, you know, investing this money into my marketing plan, or if I even had a plan at all, before actually taking the time to learn and to study the craft beforehand. Yeah, most writers, they quit after that. So either they take the quick way out and they get scammed, or they quit after they make their first big financial mistake with investing in themselves, which actually happens in any business, regardless of what industry you are in the world.